Okay, it's the 19th of December, Thursday. We've got about 22 minutes to the 23 minutes to the New York Open. We're going to take a look at the charts in a second. Just check the sound. I think we're good. Okay. All right. Very quickly, before we look at the charts, very quickly, here's what we're going to do. Need to check this. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah. Very quickly, before we look at the charts, I'm going to share this screen. Okay. These are 5 areas that I look to trade from, right? These are also 5 areas of liquidity on the chart. You can take a screenshot of this if you want to. I will be coming back to this over the next few sessions. Tomorrow will be the last session for the year, Friday, and then back on the 7th of Jan, which is a Tuesday, right? So when I'm back as well, I'll have this screen put up every now and then. But this is what I do every day. I look for a trade from one of these key areas, right? So I'll just run through them very quickly, but when I start doing it on the chart, it'll make more sense. H4 or H1 supply demand zones, right? So inside that supply demand zone, out of those supply demand zones, I identify which ones are high liquidity zones and which ones are not. So out of those SDZ, I identify which ones are high liquidity zones or which ones are not. And then once I do that, I identify a high liquidity candle inside that high liquidity zone, right? Because that's the candle that price will come to grab liquidity from and go in the opposite direction. If it doesn't get enough liquidity at that candle, it'll go to the next candle. So if price is moving up and it comes to a high liquidity candle and there's not enough liquidity there, then it'll go to the next high liquidity candle. That's all price does, right? It'll move until it finds liquidity. Once it does, it goes in the opposite direction. It's very straightforward, okay? So that's one key area. The next one is a BRN, or a big round number. These are psychological round numbers like 2600, 2550, so on and so forth. Sometimes these BRNs are inside H4, H1 SDZs. That's fine. The third is weekly support resistance levels, right? You've seen these on my charts. Again, sometimes these are outside of the zone. Sometimes these are inside H4, H1 SDZs, right? It doesn't matter. These are all important areas, right? 5 key areas. The fourth one is pullback to the EMAs, right? So there are 2 moving averages on my chart, 2 exponential moving averages on my chart. One is a 30 period moving average, one is a 60 period moving average. And they're both based on the 30-minute time frame. So even if I go down to the M15 or M5 or M1, they're still off the M30 time frame, right? And then finally, it's the EMA crossovers. Now this very rarely happens, but I have it there because sometimes it does. Once every month or a couple of times every month, you'll have price pull back exactly to where the 30 crosses the 60, right? It's very rare, so that's not that important. These 4 are important, okay? These are the 4 that you'll see on a regular basis, okay? So take a screenshot of that, make note of it. I'll keep talking about this later on. Let's get to the chart. Okay. So daily time frame. So we came down just as expected. The previous day, the day before yesterday, closed below 2650. Price was bullish. I said it should come to weekly support 2633. I did take a trade from somewhere here, and I got out at 2633 because I didn't trade the news. It was outside my trading hours, but I said price will come down. And when I do get to the trading chart, I'll show you exactly where it came to. It's the level that I had marked. So price did come down, and it bounced off exactly at 2586, and now it pushed up from 2586. Okay, so these weekly support resistance levels are very important, right? Screenshot them, use them on your chart, see how price reacts to them. Let's get to our trading chart. Okay, before we draw our zones for today, let's do a quick recap of what price did yesterday. So I had drawn this zone before the session started, this light red area, right? And I said price could come there and touch it and then continue down. And what did price do? Came, touched it to the pip and dropped. And where did I, and I said price is going to drop to where? I said it's going to drop to weekly support. That's the next key level, right? 2633. And where it came, touched it to the pip, right? So that was a drop of how many pips? 143 pips, right? You could have placed your pending order there with a stop loss above here, right? This would have been the safer stop loss above there, about 65 pips, right? And then if you held it on, I said once we break this light green area, we're coming to the next light green area. And once we break this light green area, I said we're coming straight down to 2586, right? Because the next light green area is here, right? And that is a 300 pip drop. It did break, the news candle broke that area, pulled back a bit, massive 300 pip drop. Okay, so that's what happened yesterday. I got out here. I took my trade, I think, somewhere here, just above this. I think I took my trade somewhere there, and I got out here about 136 pips. My stop loss was originally above that, but then I said aggressive stop loss above 2647.75 or 2648, right? So stop loss there. So very good trade. Tight 15, 20 pip stop loss, 135 pip trade. Okay, very good RR. Okay, let's get rid of all of these. Okay, sorry. Okay, that's a fairly large area, 300 pip area to trade from. We are still bearish. We're still pushing down. We've come up to these wicks here, these wicks right here, right there. There's a support, daily support level right there, exactly where those wicks are. You see that? Daily support and wicks. That's exactly where price came to, and it's pushing back down. So we are bearish at the moment. We've been pushing bearish since the 12th of December. We've been pushing down. So we could continue to come down. We could have a retest of 2586 today, right? Okay. So let's do this. Let's see what we've got. I'm gonna get rid of that. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we had a liquidity candle marked here, all right? You see this liquidity candle? If you watch yesterday's stream, you'll see that liquidity candle that was based off the 30-minute time frame, this candle right here. The low of this candle is 83.85. Let me extend that to the right so I can clearly explain what I'm talking about. Okay, look what happened. Price came, touched, broke the liquidity candle, but respected weekly support and pushed straight up 400 pips. This is the Asian session push up, right? Now we've broken the liquidity candle. Okay, so we have to delete that. But there's a 400 pip push up from weekly support. It could happen again, or we could push up again from 2600. We're getting very close to 2600. So let's leave this label for now here. Let's go to the H4 chart again. Extend this to the right. That's a 300 pip drop. And then further down is this level right here. Five ten 685. 10 685. Price has dipped into it. 450. So 54.50. 55.10. Okay, that's better. The price has dipped into it a bit. Okay, so that zone is about 500 pips away from current price. That's good enough for today. We have no news events today for the NY session. Let's take a look at it quickly. Oh, there is news. Yeah, there is news. Unemployment claims shouldn't do much to price. Might continue to push price down. Unemployment claims in about 50 minutes. So we have 40 minutes. So we have plenty of time to do the analysis. I thought there was no news today, but this is not an important news event. It's not an important news event, but still, I'm not going to trade before it, right? We might have a price might pull back to a level of liquidity before it continues down. So we're going to wait for news. Okay, so that's demand covered, right? That last demand level is about 600 pips from where current price is. That's good enough. Let's look at this area on the 1 hour, because now we need to refine the demand level here. Price has dipped into it, weekly support. Let's go down to the H1, and we have a level right here, right? There's a drop and a base and a rally. So the close of this is 88.02. 88.02. Okay. This label might come off. Let's see. Anyway. Yeah. We're going to keep that there for now. Let's look at supply. So the closest supply level is right here. 40.03.678. And the reason for that is there's a single base in candle. That's a drop, a base, and a big massive drop, right? Price has come to that candle. This is a huge liquidity candle pushing down on the 4 hour. Price has come into it, deep into it, and it's trying to push back down again. So very likely that we're coming back down, okay? So that's a drop, a base, and a drop. Above that, we have this level. a rally, base in candles and a drop. So this high is 169. Okay, that's 300 pips. That's good enough. Okay, we don't need to go any higher. Let's just adjust this. This high is 51.69, so the price has already gone deep in a bit into this. 51.89. Okay. Okay, that's gonna that's covered. That's H4 supply, but price has stopped here and pushing down. So we'll have to go down to the 1 hour and maybe even the 30-minute. Yeah, there is a zone right there. Go back to the 1 hour. Yeah. So this candle is closing in 6 minutes. That'll be the NY open. The next candle will be the NI open. So it's closing a bearish candle. So on the 1 hour, we have a rally. This is a basing candle. A rally, a base, and then a drop. Yeah, yeah, this is better. Rally. Usually you got to wait for the candle to close, but the candle has got 5 minutes, so I'm not going to mark this. I'm going to just leave it as it is, right? We're not going to read too much into this zone. I'm going to wait for the candle to close, which is going to be in 5 minutes from now, and then we'll come back to this. So very likely that will be the closest zone on the H1, right? It'll be H1 supply. This is still H4 demand. That's the closest one that we have here. And H1 supply here, and then H4 supply. Okay. So this zone is based on a rally, 5 basing candles, and then a drop. Because this candle, I'm anticipating this candle to close like this, either here or a little higher, but that's a drop, right? So that will be the closest supply zone. Then we have the closest demand zone, which is here, a drop, a base, a rally, right? And price should come back to 2586, which is a good 175, 180 pip drop, which is a move that I would like to take. Okay, so those are the zones, right? I covered everything on demand. Let me just check. Yeah, just a second. Yeah. Yeah, this is a high liquidity zone. We had marked this from last week. And the one below, okay, so now that we have our zones marked, we've got a supply level here, H1 supply level, very likely the candle is going to close in 3 minutes. So it's very likely going to close a 1 hour bearish candle. It's going to close a 1 hour bearish candles, making this a supply level, H1 supply level. So above that we have a H4 supply zone. Let me zoom in, H4 supply zone. And these also H4 supply, but price is not going to come there. Okay, it's very likely going to react to this and continue down, or maybe come to 2633 and then continue down. Okay, let's see. Okay, now the next thing I do is identify high liquidity zones. So is this zone still a high liquidity zone? It was yesterday, but price has come deep into it. Okay, let's see how far deep into it prices come. So the original zone, if it has crossed the 50% mark, then I no longer consider it a high liquidity zone. The original zone was 106 pips, right? Let's put a line there, 9108, 9108, okay. And price has come, yeah, more than 50% of the way into it. It was 108, we've come in 81 pips. So this is no longer a high liquidity zone. It is still H4 demand because the zone is not broken yet. We've not violated the zone. The zone is still uh, there. Once it breaks, once price goes through it, then it's no longer a zone, right? But price hasn't done that yet. We've bounced right, and the zone is right at a weekly support 2586. So we could have a bounce again, even though it's not a high liquidity zone, because it's crossed the 50% mark of that zone. Price has crossed the 50% mark. It still has weekly support running through it. And when price came to it the last time, it pushed up 425 pips, right? So that could happen again. You could come here, get a bounce off again. That's very possible. Okay, so the level below is a high liquidity zone. We had marked this from last week. Let's take a look at this zone here. Let's go to the 1 hour. Did it take out an opposing supply zone? The 1 hour. So this was the zone. Yeah, so this base drop was taken out here. So you can see these highs taken out with this candle right here. That's this zone. So the one below is a high liquidity zone. Okay, and we've got 2550 running right through it. That's a psychological round number or a big round number. Okay, and if you remember the screen I shared early on when the session started, the terminology that I use will make sense. Okay. Okay, so this has closed, the one it's closing in 10 seconds. So we have confirmed H1 supply here, right? We have a rally, we have 5 base-in candles, and we have a drop. The reason I included this in the base and not here is because this candle has more wick, collective wick, than it has body, right? The body is smaller than the wick, okay? So that's a part of the base. Price rallied, ranged, tried to break up, ranged again, and then broke down, okay? So we could have a pullback into that before we continue down. Now you got to be careful, because even if you do continue down, we've got 2600. That's a barrier, right? We could have a reaction and price could push up from here again. So you got to be very careful trying to take a trade into 2600. There's a barrier right here. Okay, let's look at 301, high 640. 301, 640. Okay. Okay, we'll just adjust this zone as well. Close 483, open 484. Okay, that's better. Yeah, that's better. All right. Now, we are about 166 pips away from this H4 demand zone, okay? And this is the NY open. We still have about 29 minutes to news, so we're going to continue with the analysis. Now, On the 1 hour, we've got confirmed supply here. Is this a high liquidity zone? Has it taken out anything to the left? Not yet. Not yet. This move down hasn't broken this, right? It hasn't broken this, so it's not a high liquidity zone yet. Is the one above a high liquidity zone? Yes, it is, because the big move down definitely took out demand on the left. This massive move down took out all of this demand. Rally, base, rally, drop, base, rally, then a drop, base, rally. So it took out rally, base, rally, took out all of these demand levels on the left, right? You can see this rally, this rally, two basin candles and a rally, right? If I put a line there, you can see that price broke right through it and below all these lows. So that's a high liquidity zone. Let's go down to the 15-minute. Okay, that's high liquidity zone. Now we've broken this low. This low is 337 and this low is 316. Yeah, so now this 1 hour push down, the 1 hour push down has broken this demand, 1 hour demand. We have a rally, a base, and a rally up, and that low has been broken by this move down. So now this is a high liquidity zone. Okay, and the one above here, let's look at it again. A rally, a base, and a drop. Let's go to the 1 hour. Did this break? Yeah, it did. Yeah, there was this move down, even though it didn't take out this low. There is 1 hour demand right here. So if I put a line right there, this move down took out those lows. If you go to the 1 hour time frame, um, interesting. Yeah, I would mark it as a high liquidity zone because there is 2650 running right through it. So that's an important area anyway. So I'm going to keep that there. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, we're all set for the NY session. I mean, for the NY session. So we got 1 hour supply here, which is a high liquidity zone because we've broken this demand to the left. We got a 4 hour supply zone here, also a high liquidity zone because it's broken all the demand to the left here, right? Previous demand, old demand to the left, broken right through it. Okay, and that should be good for the upside. And to the downside, we've got H4 demand here, which is no longer high liquidity zone because price has gone beyond 50% of that zone. Plus, if you remember at the beginning of the session, I showed that the M30 low had been broken. The previous liquidity candles M30 low had been broken. So price should run through this. But the only reason it might not is because weekly support is right here. So if you didn't have weekly support running through this, then price would go right through this down. And where is it going next? It's coming to the next zone, which is this, right? So we're going to take a look at the next demand zone now. Okay, before we do that, we're going to look at this area. If price does pull back to this area, so that's the next thing that I do. Once we do identify the zones and we mark which ones are high liquidity zones and which ones are not, the next thing to do is find a high liquidity candle. If price does pull back to this 1 hour supply, where exactly is it going to reverse? Which candle is going to hold it to push price down. So on the 1 hour there is this big candle, that's a 90 pip candle. Okay, that's good. I'm going to mark that candle out here. 640738. 640738. Okay, go down to the 30-minute. The 30-minute, it's still this candle. It's an 83 pip candle. Let's go down to the 15-minute, and it's still that same candle, which is an 85 pip candle right there. Okay, that's the largest candle. This candle is 63, and that candle is 85. So high 640790. 6407.90. Okay, that's a liquidity candle. If we get there, that's the candle that can push price down. If there is enough liquidity to push price down there. Okay. Okay. If we break this high, where are we coming to next? Possibly 2633. That is the next key area. Weekly resistance. Okay. So, and then if we come past that, we should come to this zone, which is a H4 supply zone. We can take a look at that and find a liquidity candle in that as well. There's a wick here. It's a rejection wick, 40 pip wick. Let's go down to the 30-minute. It's a 42 pip candle. There. Okay. 15-minute. No. 30-minute. Okay, let's mark that candle. 991583. 91583. All right. And if you break this high, we're coming to 2650. Is there a high liquidity candle in that at 2650 at that zone? Maybe this candle, 37 pips, possible. Yeah, I'm going to extend this zone here. That's better. Open 369, close 360. Okay. On the 1 hour, is there anything in that zone? 30-minute. Okay. So in that zone, on the 30-minute, is there a high liquidity candle? Maybe this one right here, 43 pips. This one, 36 pips, yeah. Definitely that, the other one, 39. As much as that, 39, 57, 43, 41. Interesting. $66 pips. Yeah, it's that candle right there. This 30-minute candle. 760354. Yeah, this candle, the 30-minute time frame. This candle could push price down. Okay, we're good. We're covered a lot to the upside. Price is not going to go there. I'm pretty sure price is not going to go all the way up there today. We are bearish at the moment. We're continuing down. Now, in this zone, because we have weekly support right here, if you do come here, can price, which candle could push price back up? On the 1 hour, is that 30-minute? It's this candle right here. It's a 93 pip candle. The reason I'm marking that candle out is because we've got weekly support right there. If weekly support wasn't running through this, I would ignore this because we've already taken out the liquidity candle on the left. So there is no liquidity. But now we've created new liquidity at weekly support to push up. I hope that makes sense. All right? We've created new liquidity. Okay, we had taken out the liquidity candle. If you watch the beginning of the stream, you'd see the liquidity candle taken out, the M30 liquidity candle. This price broke, went right through it. And then we used 2586 and we push price up, creating another liquidity candle, right? So this is the largest candle in that zone. Let's go down to the 15-minute and see what it looks like. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's better. Come down there. On the 5-minute, 47. Let's keep it on the 15-minute. That's good enough. 030292. 030292. Okay. And that's 70, 72, 73 pip zone. Fine. Okay. Now, if price breaks the low of this candle, where is it coming to next? Straight down to this zone. And is there a liquidity candle inside this zone? We're going to take a look at it now. Go back to the 1 hour. Look inside this zone. There is this candle, 1 hour candle. It's 144 pips. There is this 113. So go down to the 30-minute. 100 pips. 98. 141. That's still the largest. $143. 106. It's a gap there. 15-minute time frame. 90. 100. There is a gap here. That's the issue. So I don't. Yeah, that's an issue. On the 5-minute. There's nothing on the 5-minute. That's 89, 90 pips, and this is 100 pips. Yeah, I'm going to use this candle. Use this candle as a liquidity candle. All right. It's too big. Hmm. 868, 864. Okay. So if price does break below this candle, that's another 145 pip drop to this candle right here. The 30-minute, 15-minute liquidity candle that I just drew. Right. So it's about a 300 pip gap drop. That's fine. Yeah, that's good enough for I think today. Yeah. Just a second. Okay. Okay. We are coming down. We've tapped to 600, almost up to 600. We're coming down. Yeah. Maybe I just look at this zone also. Since we got another 10 minutes. This zone right here. And we've got 2550 running right through it. This drop base rally. Go down to the 1 hour. That's the largest candle, 98 pips, and 90 pips, yeah. So let's go on to 30-minute. 91. 67, yeah, this one right here. Yeah, that's better. 63 pips, yeah, good enough. Yeah, and this wick, 67. Wick. But we're going to use this candle because 2550 runs right through it. Okay, so that's a liquidity candle on the 15-minute time frame. 220585. 220585. Okay, done. Okay, so we are kind of bouncing off. There's a demand level there, a rally-based rally. Prices bouncing off it. Let's see what it does. Let's see how far we pull back to. The 1 hour is closing bearish. I'd like to see a pullback to take sells coming down. Okay. Right. Now, have we broken any highs, M15 highs? No, we're creating lower highs and lower lows all the way from here. Okay, so we need, so price has to break minimum 2 M15 highs for us to get a setup. You've seen how I draw my setups. I do it every day. I use the fib tool, but it's not a default. It's not the default fib tool. It's more of a customized fib tool to suit my entry levels. I'll be doing that again hopefully today. If price does pull back, then I'll be doing that again today. And you can have a look at it. That's the way I enter trades. Now we wait. We've got about 6 minutes. Yeah. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Let me just zoom out. Okay. So the idea is I'd like to take sells, but I like to see price pull back up and then take sells coming down. But then the problem is we've got 2600 that can stop price. So TP will be around just above 2600 or at 2600. But if you break 2600, then we're coming to this liquidity candle and very possibly 2586 again, right? So if you do break that, then that's another 100 pip drop. Okay. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so it's very likely that we're going to get a push up, right? We've broken two consecutive M15 lows. It's very likely that we push up for news. Five double 6068. No, coming down still. Maybe touch to 600 first. Broke the low in the first minute. In the first minute, price broke this candle low. So we're coming further down. So no sells yet because I don't have my setup. For sells, I would like to see price come up here. Yeah, let's wait for the candle to close. Let's see what this candle does, this M15 news candle. Whether it closes below or pushes back and rejects 2600 and closes above it. Let's see. Hmm. There is a supply level, there is a demand level right here, rally, base, rally. But the liquidity candle is right here, 15-minute liquidity candle. So if you're coming down, we could come down to this and then push up. That's a liquidity candle right there. This is the London high. There's the London low, London high. So London moved, session moved 230 pips. Asian low, Asian high, Asian session moved 316 pips. Maybe the NY session has no volume. Maybe. For price to come down, I need price to pull back up. Break a few M15 highs, grab liquidity, either from the EMAs or from the zone, and then push down, right? As I said, these are the areas that I look to trade. So number 4, pull back to the EMAs. These are liquidity areas, right? This is liquidity area. This is a liquidity area. This is a liquidity area. Number 1, high liquidity candle. This light pink area, dark pink area is a liquidity candle. That's a liquidity zone for price to push down from, right? These EMAs, a pullback to the EMAs, and this zone. This is a liquidity area, weekly resistance for price to push down from. For price to push up from, this is a liquidity area. Point number 2, BRN, big round numbers or psychological round numbers to push price up. Again, to push price up, this is a high liquidity candle to push price up. This candle right here. Point number 3, or area, key area number 3, weekly support to push price up again. These are the areas that I wait for a trade. I don't trade in the middle. I don't just randomly buy or sell. Price has to get to one of these areas for me to take trades. So I showed the top 4. I showed you guys right now, right? Price to push down, either the EMAs or from this high liquidity candle, this candle right here, or from weekly resistance, another high liquidity candle right here. Price to push up from 2600, high liquidity candle, weekly support, right? The EMA crossovers are rare. They're very rare. When these EMAs cross, and at the same time when price is at that cross, is very rare in the NY session. So we wait. We got to wait for this 15-minute candle to close. 9 minutes more. How long have I been here? I'll be here for another maybe 30 minutes. It's been a tiring week. It's getting close to the end of the year. A lot of personal stuff to do. So, yeah, can't wait for the week to end. And then back again, by God's grace, first week of on the 7th of Jan, which is a Tuesday. Okay, we are 2600 seems to be pushing price up. Let's see how the candle closes. Yeah, 5 minutes is pushing up. 1 minute is creating a bullish engulfing candle. Yeah, let's see. So if the candle closes bullish or rejects this area, then I'll draw my fib and probably take a trade to see price go up of this psychological round number to push price up. But if it doesn't and closes below, then we're coming down. But there is no sells for me because price hasn't pulled back. We're just creating lower highs and lower lows. So there is no setup here. There is no structure. We're just creating lower highs and lower lows. Price is just moving down, creating lower highs and lower lows. There is no structure in this move. To see structure, you have to see these highs break, right? Then you have structure. When the highs break and a candle closes back down, that's structure, right? Like you see here, this is structure. Price broke above, the price was moving down, and then we went up and we broke these highs. That's structure. So right now, price is just pushing down. Okay, got about 6 minutes. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so we are rejecting this. Let's look at the 5-minute. Got a bullish engulfing candle. Should I wait for M30 support? Yeah. Could have a possible trade, yes. Entry here, stop loss under here. 431789. This candle needs to reject this area. If we close strong, if we close a weak rejection, then I won't take a trade. I need to see a. Yeah, no, I'm not. Okay, let's try one there. Let's try entry here. 49, 48. 59789. Okay, attempting buys here because we rejected this. But I don't know whether we're going to tap into this. Maybe we will. I think we will. Yeah. Yeah. We're coming down. We're coming down, possibly back to 2600. I'm not going to try to buy as price goes up. I'm going to wait for price. If it doesn't come here, it doesn't come here. That's fine. And let it run. But yeah, this week can push price back down. We came very close, missed it by 5 points. This was the opening of the 15-minute candle. Came very close and just missed the entry by 5 points, pushed up. Let's see, I think we might come down. I think we're going to come down. Possibly back to 2600. Yeah. Yeah, we're coming down. Back to 2600. I think let's see, I'm going to keep these pending orders. 30 pip stop loss on this, 15 on this, 30 on this. Okay. Let's see. I'm not going to try to front run these trades. If it comes back, gets me entry, then let's see what happens. Because this is a liquidity grab, 34 pip liquidity grab from 2600. Yeah, here we go. Should come down. Should come down. Should break this M15 candle low. Yeah. Yeah. That's an entry. Coming down here. Let's see. Two 617. That's where price should go to. 2617. Okay, we've got both entries are triggered. Now we got to be careful. If you come down, break this low, then the buys are invalid. Okay, and then that's it. I'm not going to do anything else. If you come down, break this low, I'm doing nothing else. The price is then possibly coming straight down, and we're going to wait for price to get to a high liquidity candle or 2586 just to look for a trade opportunity. Yeah, we're coming down. We're coming down. Let's see. I'm going to wait for price to break this low because this is a liquidity wick on the 15-minute. So you got to give that liquidity wick a chance to push price back up. But if you break the wick low, then the setup is invalid. That's the end of the fib. Yeah, I think we're coming down. Yep. Yeah, that's it. Just gonna wait. Nothing to do. Just lost about 30 pips there. It's no big deal. 30, 40 pips. Yeah, we're coming down. No sells because no structure. This is a liquidity area, but no structure. I need to see two M15 highs break to push price down. So this candle didn't come back up. If it did come up and break the high, then that would be a confirmation that we're grabbing liquidity to continue down. But it didn't break the high. We're just pushing down. So I'm gonna wait for price to get to this area and see what it does, or if price does push up and start breaking these highs, then look for a sell to come down, then look for a setup to come down again. Okay, so right now nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do. We haven't broken a single M15 high. We're just pushing down, creating lower highs and lower lows all the way down. Right from here, lower highs and lower lows, 240, 245 pips. Lower highs, lower lows. No structure to this. Just price is just pushing down. So if you look at the 30-minute time frame, you just see bearish candles moving down. The 1 hour is just pushing down. There's nothing. There is no top wicks to these candles. No top wick, no top wick. No top wick, no top wick, no top wick, no top wick. There's no structure. We're just continuing down. I should have maybe waited for M30 support to form here and then take a trade, yeah, instead of just trusting the M15 rejection, this rejection candle. Yeah, that would have been better because price is falling. So usually I do this when price is falling very hard like this, I don't just try to buy and I should have followed my instincts. Should have waited for M30 to see M30 is a better confirmation time frame. So wait for M30 support to form, and then wait for the liquidity grab to continue up. But I traded off the M15. When price is in momentum, it's fine to trade the M15 like I did yesterday, right? Price was in momentum down. Price is coming down in momentum. Let me show you. We were coming down in momentum. So waited for the pullback on the M15, took the trade to come down, right? But here, it's coming down. So I should have waited for M30 support to form. That's more confirmation to then continue up. So that's what I'm going to do. If we come down here, wherever we come down to here or here, because price is pushing down, I'm going to wait for M30 support to form and then look for the liquidity to grab the M15 candle to trade up. So my entries are always on the M15, but when price is falling, right, I usually wait for M30 support to form and then look for the M15 entry. And when price is trending up, the same thing. When it's trending up, I wait for M30 resistance to form. That's a better confirmation time frame to wait for M30 resistance to form at a key area and then take the liquidity M15 entry to move price down, to push price down. But if I'm trading with the trend, then M30, I don't need to really see M30 support or resistance. I hope that makes sense. There is literally nothing to do here. 3 minutes for this candle to close. The M30 is closing bearish again below 2600. Are we going to get a reaction here, or are we going to get a reaction down here, or are we going to get a reaction at weekly support 2586 like we did the last time? We're going to have to wait and see. Either way, I'm going to wait for M30 support to form. I'm not going to just buy randomly. We got about 35 minutes to the NYSE open. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to be here until then. Yeah, maybe buy NYSE open if I don't see any structure forming. That's 35 minutes from now, 35, 40 minutes from now. Then I'm going to end the stream and I'm going to call it a day. Because we're coming to the end of the week. We're getting towards the last trading week. This is the last trading week for the year. So there might not be really good clean setups to take. Okay. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Sorry. Yeah, so we closed below 2600. We're pushing down, clean space to the left. We should continue down. Let's see what price does. I've got to see weekly I've got to see M30 support form. Unless I see M30 support form, I'm not taking buys, and I can't take sells because price has not made structure. We're just continuing down. This high is 431. This high is 410. This high is lower than this high. So there is no structure form. We're just continuing down. There's nothing to do yet. It's going to wait here. I'm going to wait for until the NYSE open, 30 minutes more, and then call it a day if there is no structure. Yeah, it's price is moving very slowly. NY open. There was no movement with news, and there isn't any movement now either. Which is moving down very slowly. Yeah, there is nothing happening. I'm gonna wait. Gonna wait for the 30-minute candle to close. Let's see. It's got a 23 minutes more. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. It's gonna have to wait for a long time. Okay, very likely that I'm not going to get a trade today, but let's see. Gonna wait for the 30-minute candle to close. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Okay, price is not doing anything. Just maybe we create support. It's nothing. So I'm going to call it a day in a couple of minutes. This price is doing nothing. It's just creating low highs and low lows. No opportunity. Needs to create support to look for a trade going up, but there is no M30 support yet. NYSE session opens in a couple of minutes. NYSE open, sorry, not session. NYSE open is in a couple of minutes. It's very boring. It's because yesterday was when we had volume. 540 pip move with news. That's the news candle. This is what it looked like on the 15-minute time frame. That's a news candle right there. 540 pips down, straight news. Continued down, and now we came up to that, back to that candle and trying to push down again. Yeah, so we are probably going to close M30 bearish again under 2600. So we're continuing down. So price is very likely going to continue down here, right? I'm not going to be here. This might take another hour or so for price to come down, maybe even longer. Could be, yeah, the 4-hour candle is going to take another 30 minutes to close. So we might close bearish and then continue down. It's going to take a while. So yeah, I'm going to end the stream in a minute or so. Yeah, we're going to close. Okay, so just wait for the candle to close. Closing a bearish, maybe a bearish doji or bullish doji. If it is a bullish doji, we're probably very likely going to continue down, break the low and continue down. Because if you're trying to take buys, then wait for M30 support in this area. Here in this area, M30 support to be created. Wait for M30 support. Then look for on the M15 time frame. Look for that candle to push price up, right? Wait for M30 support to be created. So yeah, so we created a doji, right? There's nothing there in that candle. We are closing below 2600. We should continue down. We're coming down here. Okay, so there's nothing. So no sells either because we don't have any structure. It's just low highs and low lows all the way. We're gonna have to. I'm going to have to wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last trading day for the week and the year. And back again on the 7th of Jan, by God's grace. So that's it, right? Back tomorrow. Same time, 7:30 a.m. EST. And we'll do our analysis and see if you have an opportunity to trade. But right now there is no volume and neither is there a setup to trade. Okay, so see you guys tomorrow. I'll just put this screen on again once more. I did talk about the screen at the beginning of the session, so if you watch the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the session of the stream, first 5 to 10 minutes of the stream, I explained this. I just put it back up. So these are the 5 key areas that I look to take a trade from, and those are the 5 key areas that I have seen that has liquidity, right? For session trading, basically. If you're a session trader, so I trade the New York session. I trade not the entire New York session, but 2 to 2.5 hours of the New York after the New York Open. So for session trading, these are the 5 key areas that I look to take a trade from. right? These are the 5 key areas that you will find liquidity at on a price chart. These 5 key areas you'll find liquidity at on a price chart. Okay, so I'll keep putting this slide on as often as I can, and I'll talk through the same thing over and over again so that nobody misses it. All right, see you guys tomorrow.